For this video, I'm going to talk about revolvers, specifically bobbed hammers on revolvers. And they seem to be really misunderstood. For a lot of people, they seem to think you need to have a hammer spur. And it's not the case. Now, with my older guns, the classics, I'm not going to change anything on them. I'm not going to remove the spur. I'm not going to swap out hammers. I'm going to keep them as is. But for something that I'm going to carry defensively, removing that hammer spur, well, it removes a little snag, which I'm not as worried about. It's more utilitarian. I'm not going to be accessing the hammer. I'm going to only be accessing the trigger in a defensive situation. So this is a Smith & Wesson Model 10. It's a 6-shot 38, worked on by Dave Laubert of Defensive Creations. And this is a K-frame. It's not a J-frame. So due to its size and weight, for me, I like shooting this more than, say, a 442, a 642, a old school 36. To me, this is really cool. And it's effective. Load this with wad cutters, and this is a viable defensive option. And for me, cutting off that hammer spur just makes sense because I don't access it. I don't pull back the hammer before I shoot. My trigger presses are all double action. And in my opinion, for a defensive gun, especially like this, double action is probably the only way to go. Now, there are exceptions. Now, if you have physical ailments, strength issues, dexterity issues, you might need to pull back the hammer. But most people that I know don't need that. So they probably don't need that hammer spur. And I understand, yeah, people feel comfortable having that there. I don't just have a use for it, so just remove it, plain and simple. For some reason, this is one of those misunderstood things. And one of the positives of having this versus a shrouded, or not even a shrouded, a internal hammer is when it comes to holstering, keeping my thumb on the back, basically I'm pinning the hammer. I can't do anything to the trigger because my thumb is stopping the trigger from moving. So that's kind of a nice little thing. That's one of the bonuses of having a hammer that's physically moving that you can see, you can access. So that's all. They're fun. Try them out. More importantly, consider this, because there's a possibility if you do decide, if you're not already into revolvers, this might be a perspective that you haven't considered. And if you're of average strength and you're an average shooter, the need to pull back your hammer, especially for defensive purposes, is minimal. So why bother? That's all.